Rocket League maps. Some are good, some are bad, and then some are really bad. Today, we're gonna be ranking every Rocket League map from worst to best. We have a beautiful tier list set up here with 42 total maps. I also want to point out that I will be ranking these maps on 1, how good they look, 2, how they feel to play on, and 3, how they fit their game mode. Now, this is every map that is playable in Rocket League right now, not including both day and night versions or, anything that involves weather. However, it does have reskin maps, for example, the new map, Neo Tokyo Hacked, which we'll go ahead and start with. If you guys know me, you know that I do not like this map. I think it is a very lazy, very lazy reskin. After waiting 2 to 3 months for the new season, you would expect either a new map or a really good reskin. Sadly, this map was not anywhere near good in my opinion. All they did was shut off half the lights in the stadium and retexture the floor. I don't know, in my opinion, this is an automatic D tier. Next up, we'll just go in alphabetical order, starting with Aquadome. Now, I know Aquadome is an OG fan favorite. I believe it may have been one of the first DLC maps to come out. It came out in early 2016, I believe. Now, I didn't start playing Rocket League till about mid 2017, but in all honesty with Aquadome, I've never really liked it that much, but I also don't hate the map. I definitely don't queue into an Aquadome match and get a boner from how excited I am to play it. So we're gonna leave it at C for right now. Next up, we got Arctagon, which is actually our first non-normal Rocket League map. As you guys know, Arctagon is only playable in Rumble. Basically, it's an octagon field, or at least I think that's its shape. Now, as far as a unique map for an extra game mode, I'm kind of basing this more on just how fun it is to play on. And honestly, it's not too bad compared to the other maps, but it's also not that great. One thing that really annoys me about this map is the boost pad placements, and I also just don't really like the look of it. I'm gonna put it in D tier. All right, next up is Badlands, not Wasteland, but Badlands. This is also a map solely for Rumble, and already comparing it to Arctagon, I hate this map way more than Arctagon. The uneven slopes on the side of the field are just so damn annoying to deal with. I'm gonna put it in F tier. Moving on to our first out of 4 snow day maps, which is a lot compared to the other extra game modes. We have Manfield Snowy. Now, I'm a sucker for Christmas and snow and winter, so I already really like this map. Although I hate snow day, which kind of ruins my experience on this map. Put this map in normal Rocket League and I'll put it in A tier, but for now, I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. Next up, we got Beckwith Park, which I am actually a very big fan of. I would almost say that this was at once at least my favorite map. First of all, it's a grass map. Second of all, it is very simple. And third of all, I love the night version of Beckwith Park. I think this has got to be A tier for me. And listen, if it's a plain grass map, it's probably going to be in at least B tier. And the biggest reason why is because these maps are the least distracting in ranked. Next up, we got Champions Field, which I'm not going to lie to you guys. Champions Field, DFH Stadium, and Manfield all basically look the same to me. This map is an absolute classic. I believe it's where all RLCS Game 7s take place. For right now, I'm going to put it in B tier. Next up, we have the one and only Drop Shot map, which, by the way, they should definitely make some more of these. I don't know why there's only one. Now, I personally love Drop Shot. I love the game mode. I think the map is plain and simple. It looks good visually. And although there's a bunch of neon lights, the map really isn't that distracting at all. I'm going to put it at the top of C tier right now. Next up, what is the name of this map? Next up is our first Rocket Lab map. It's called Cosmic. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't think I've played on this map in probably like 5 years. I actually don't think it's in the Rumble rotation at all, but basically the middle is just a flat level rectangle, and then the whole outline is elevated up. Now, I see Rocket Lab maps as maps that you should have fun on, although I feel this map would just heavily annoy me, and for that, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of F tier. Next up is Deadeye Canyon Oasis. I think that's how you say it. I don't even have to hesitate. This is easily A tier. Do I like it more than Beckwith Park? I think I gotta say yes. Let me put, okay, there we go. Out of all the reskins Rocket League has done for this game, this is easily by far the best. It is such a vibey map. I love the skybox. I love the sunset. I love the wilderness surrounding the field. I love the grass on the field. It is the most perfect mix between plain and bright colors. And for that, it's gotta be at the top of my list for now. Next up is the original Deadeye Canyon, which I actually don't dislike. And now that I'm thinking about it, I just realized that they took this map out of ranked. And I'll admit, I didn't like the map at first. I thought it was way too bright. I think if they would just dim the brightness on the map, even just a little bit, maybe make the sky like overcast and just make it like a kind of loomy map, I think this could easily also be in the A tier. But for now, I think I'm going to put it in the top of the C tier. God, what map is this? Next up, we have DFH Stadium Circuit. Now, I actually don't know if this map is playable in any game mode right now. I will say, I feel like I've rarely ever played on this map. And even though it's on DFH Stadium, and I think DFH is easily B tier, I think it's just a little too distracting. And I think for that reason, I'm going to have to put it down in C tier. Do I think it's it's better than Deadeye Canyon. You know what? I honestly like Deadeye Canyon. I don't think Deadeye is a bad map by any means. And I think Deadeye Canyon might be my most favorite map that isn't grass. I think for that reason alone, I gotta leave Deadeye at top of C, and I'll put DFH Stadium Circuit below it. Speaking of DFH Stadium, we have DFH Snowy. This is the second map in Snow Day. I will say right off the bat that I do dislike this map more than Beckwith Snowy, which, by the way, I know I called it Manfield earlier. I meant Beckwith. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the ice on the ground. I'm really not. Although it is still a snowy map, and I'm a sucker for that, so I'm going to put it at the top of D tier. Next up, we have the original DFH OG Stadium. Now, again, I wasn't playing Rocket League when it came out, so I can't really relate to this map on an OG level. It's easily at least B tier. It's a plain, normal grass map. It works perfectly in ranked. It's not distracting at all. And you know what? I would have to at least put it above Champions Field. I will say that DFH isn't as distracting as Champions Field, which I believe has like cameras that fly around the map and all the lights and, you know, the big overhang of the roof on the stadium. Right now, I'll leave it at the top of the B tier. I may bump it up to an A. I'm not too sure. Core 707 is our next map. It's our second Rocket Lab map. For those of you that don't know, this map has 2 goals on each side. It's in kind of like a triangular shape. It's different for sure. I believe the map itself is also bigger than a normal map. As far as fun goes, I definitely like it more than, what's even the name of this map? Cosmic. I definitely like it more than Cosmic, and I definitely like it more than Badlands, and I think it's a very unique map. There's a lot of Rocket League Workshop maps that have ideas such as having more than one goal, and in game, this is the closest thing we have to that, so I think I gotta at least put it in D tier. And you know what? I think I'll actually put it above the Arctagon. Next up is our first out of 2 Hoops maps. This is Dunk House. I don't know what it is about this map, man, but every time I load into it, I just get this warm, cozy feeling. And if you guys didn't know, Hoops is actually my favorite extra game mode, so this already bumps this map up a ton. I gotta put this in at least B. There's no way I don't put it in B. It's very simple. It isn't distracting at all. It's in a game mode that I heavily enjoy and think is very fun. For that reason, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B tier. Next up, we got how do I even say this?
Estadio Vida.
Estadio Vida. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I have not heard anybody really talk about this map at all. I will say, although this map does look good and does work in comp, I honestly just never really get a good vibe on this map. And I hate to put it in C tier, but I think I have to. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I might put this next to Aquadome. This is definitely a map I had coming into this thinking that I would rank it higher. No, you know what? No, I gotta put it higher than DFH Circuit. There's no way. You know what? I'm even gonna put Core 707 above DFH Circuit. I don't know. It's like they tried to make a Sovereign Heights remake with this map, which I do appreciate because Sovereign Heights is a very good map, but it just doesn't match the same energy. Maybe if they released a day version of this map, you know, where it's like super sunny, then I would like it a lot more. Next up is Farmstead, which, back when this map came out, I don't remember exactly how I felt about it. I actually can't even remember how many versions it has. I know it has a nighttime version and obviously the Stranger Things version, which, by the way, that one was sick. As far as the normal day version goes, I definitely don't dislike it. I think the skybox and the sunset is very pretty, but I'm not really a fan of the ground. I wish it was grass, maybe even like a dead grass. Again, a lot of players, including myself, just don't really have a taste for maps that don't have a grass field. I think having dead grass on this field would have been really cool. And I think if it did, it would be probably even at the top of B tier. But I definitely think it's somewhat of a fan favorite, and I definitely like it more than Deadeye Canyon. We'll leave it in B for right now. Next up, oh my god. This map sucks! Straight away, going into the F tier. I mean, this map is just... This map sucks. Like, straight up, this map is just awful. I get it, they tried to do a reskin of Forbidden Temple, which, by the way, is also a very freaking good map. But god, dude, what did... Oh my god. They ruined the reputation of Forbidden Temple by literally making this map. For all my Call of Duty Zombies fans, it's kind of like when Blood of the Dead was a remake for Mob of the Dead, and it was just awful. First of all, if you even somewhat enjoy Ranked in Rocket League, this is the last map you would ever want to play on. I would rather play on Badlands in normal Ranked over this shit. It's way too dark of a map, yet somewhat the colors are way too bright. I respect the fire and ice theme and the contrast between the colors and everything, but dude, when you have full quality on this map, even without full quality, there's just way too much shit going on. It just doesn't look good either. I used to give it props for kind of looking cool. It doesn't look cool. It's going to the bottom of the list right now. Next up is the OG and actually good looking Forbidden Temple. Now this map has both the, you know, evening and also daytime versions, which I honestly think both of them look really good. Easily better than Farmstead, easily better than Dunk House. I would even say it's better than Champions Field. It's got the vibes. It isn't distracting at all. I get happy when I load it up in ranked. Looking at it now, it's almost got the same skybox as Deadeye Canyon Oasis. It takes the top for the B tier right now. Next up is the actual Manfield snowy map. Now, I will say right away, I do like Beckwith Park's snowy map more than Manfield, so it's definitely going to be below it, but as far as going in the C tier, I think I do have to leave it there. It's a snowy map. I love snow. I can't put it below. Speaking of Manfield, we got the OG classic Manfield Stadium. Easily a B tier map, in my opinion. Definitely above Dunk House. And man, like I said, like I'm stuck between these three maps. They all just give me the same vibe. They all look the same overall, in my opinion. I think I have to at least put it above Champions Field. And I think I'll put it above DFH as well. I'll just leave it there for now. Like I said, these three maps are like literally all look the same to me. The only reason I'm putting it above these two is because it's the least distracting. It's the most plain and basic. And I think it may even have more variations than both Champions Field and DFH. Because I know DFH has the stormy version, the night version, and I would imagine a day version. And I know Champions Field has a night and day version, but I think Manfield has all three of them. So for that reason alone, I'm going to put it there. Next up, oh my god. Does this map even deserve to be on the list? Neo Tokyo Comic. The fact that they gave Neo Tokyo 2 reskins and both of them were worse than the original. Oh my gosh. I think it is worse than Neo Tokyo Hacked. I would honestly I'm putting it in F tier. There's no way I'm not. The reason everybody disliked this map was because it was almost like there was a film grain on the map. Like, it was so blurry. Also, the fact that the map is so unsaturated and everything is just gray. It was both distracting and just honestly ugly. Like, I know Forbidden Temple is ugly, but god, at least it has some color. I think this is officially the new worst map in Rocket League on my tier list. It blows. Now the original Neo Tokyo, which I'm also not a very big fan of. Definitely enjoy it way more than Neo Tokyo Hacked and Neo Tokyo Comic. I think out of the three of them, it's the least distracting. It's the most eye appealing. And you know, it does work in ranked. It kind of gives me the same vibes that Aquarium gives me, where it's just like, I don't really know. It's not a grass map. I'm not really, you know, visually appealed to it, but at the same time, it does work in ranked. I think I'll put it just below Aquarium. I think Aquarium is a little better. Next up, oh, Neon Fields. Holy shit, where did this map go? I think this map was legitimately in Rocket League for not even a day, or at least in ranked. I think they took it out of ranked within the first few hours that the season had been released. Look, the concept of it is really cool, and you know, I like the skybox. I like the whole like 80s neon vibes. But if I remember correctly, I think it was very distracting because of all of the, you know, stage lights, you know, flying around the sky like it was a rave. And I mean, as it looks, it's really not that bad of a map. It's just very distracting. And I think for that reason, I gotta put it in D tier. But would I play on it over Neo Tokyo Hacked? Hell yes. Next up is Octagon, which is basically the same as Arctagon, except it's not in space. Visually, at least, I definitely do like this map more than Arctagon. Also, it's another one of those maps where I queue into it and I just get kind of like a warm, like cozy feeling. It's weird. I think it's just remembering playing these maps back when I was kind of new to the game and, you know, like very much of a noob. And when I play the game more so just for fun instead of, you know, trying to rank up, trying to get better at the game. Like, I definitely do have a lot of good memories on these Rocket Lab maps. I almost want to put it above Double Goal, but I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it below Double Goal though, because I think Double Goal is just more of a creative map and I think it flows better. And also the idea of having to protect 2 goals at once just sounds kind of fun, you know, whenever you're playing it for fun. It does sound fun, and it can make for some pretty funny moments, I would imagine. Next up is Pillars, yet another Rocket Lab map. This is basically just 2 giant pillars in the middle of the map. Now, although there are 2 giant pillars, this map is basically like 3 times the size of a normal Rocket League map. In my opinion, I think this is probably the worst Rocket Lab map. It just seems kind of pointless to have 2 giant pillars in the middle of the field and have to play around them. Like, imagine if there was just a tree in the middle of a baseball field. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Although playing it for what it is and, you know, what it's designed for, which is just wacky, fun chaos, I definitely got to put it above Neo Tokyo Comic and Forbidden Temple Fire and Ice. But it does do its job, which is making the Rocket Lab maps, you know, something different, unique, interesting to play on, and overall just kind of fun. Next up is Rivals Arena, which I think is another DFH map. I could be wrong. But yeah, this is just another map that I never really saw in ranked Rocket League at all. I actually do like the Hot Wheels theme, and although the changes to the map are very subtle and, you know, nothing too major, I will say it's probably like the second or third best reskin of a map. However, it is still kind of distracting, which I'm not a very big fan of. I think I'll put it at the top of C because I don't really think it like necessarily deserves to be a C tier map, but I definitely don't think it's anywhere near as good as Farmstead. Salty Shores is the next map, and honestly, one of my favorites. Now, Salty Shores has two variations. It has the daytime and the evening. I personally like the evening a lot more than the daytime. I don't think the daytime is that bad, but the evening is very vibey. Definitely an A tier map. It isn't distracting at all. I have a lot of good memories on this map, and I always just get a good feeling whenever I load into Salty Shores. Definitely, in my opinion, an A tier map. Next up, in my opinion, is another A tier map. This is Sovereign Heights. Now, I actually thought this was probably one of, if not the greatest map ever released in Rocket League, but that was before Deadeye Canyon Oasis came out. Now, Sovereign Heights does only have one variation. I think if it had a daytime variation, that would definitely make me rank it a little higher. This is getting difficult now. I think I do like Salty a little more than Sovereign Heights, not only because the evening version is just amazing, but also it does have a daytime version, which I'm also a fan of. Like, I don't dislike it at all. And when you have a map that has more than one variation going up against a map that has only one variation, I feel like that map should just automatically get an advantage, especially if all the variations are good. I think for that reason, I gotta put Salty above Sovereign Heights. And yeah, I mean, thinking about it now, I think I gotta leave these maps how they are. I didn't know I had this much of a love for Beckwith Park. I thought I would have put Sovereign Heights and maybe even Salty Shores above it. But really thinking about it now, yeah. Wow. I'm learning a lot today. The next map is, oh my God. I mean, when you think of shitty reskins, it's definitely not as bad as Forbidden Temple Fire and Ice, but god damn, it's close. It doesn't fit ranked. It is incredibly distracting. However, I do think visually it looks better than Fire and Ice, because I'm thinking, well, would I rather play this over Badlands? Would I rather play a ranked match on Starbase Arc Aftermath over playing a Rumble match on Wasteland? No, absolutely not. I'm leaving it there. Now the original Starbase Aftermath, which I do like more than the reskin. I will say that. Definitely don't think it's an F tier map, but it's definitely a D tier map. I think it's better than the octagon shaped version. And you know, I haven't played this map in ranked in a long time because they took it out a long time ago. I'm not too sure when it was. I would imagine probably when the game went free to play, but I could be wrong. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. This is one of the most forgotten maps in my opinion. And I mean, I can understand why. It's just like not a very appealing map. I mean, I'm just gonna put it right above the octagon version. Next up is the second and last hoops map in the game. This is the Block. Now this map did release with Sovereign Heights. It was like, you know, basically a package. They both have the same theme, and honestly thinking about it now, I think this map would have been 10 times better. Oh god. Thinking about it now, I think this map would have been 10 times better if it were on grass. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense considering, you know, it's basketball and it should be on like concrete or like a wooden floor or, you know, whatever. But I mean, Snow Day is an ice puck on grass, which doesn't make sense either. Now, even though I love Sovereign Heights and the Block is basically just the hoops version of Sovereign Heights, I gotta say, I definitely like the normal dunk house more than the Block. I don't know if it's just a nostalgic feeling for dunk house or what, but every time I load into dunk house, I just get a nice warm, cozy feeling. I feel comfortable on the map. The Block, I don't get that same feeling, and I don't get as excited to play on it. And I think for that reason alone, it's got to go lower than dunk house. And honestly, I'll even put it below Farmstead. I think I will. The map honestly isn't distracting at all. It obviously fits the game mode. Next up, we got Throwback Stadium. If you guys don't know what this map is, it's basically a remake of the original Rocket League map, which was more hockey styled than anything. Both of the goals were separated from the wall, pushed out into the field. You can drive behind the goals, you can drive on top of them. It's a very cool concept. As far as online play goes, it's only playable in Rumble. And honestly, for Rumble, I think this map actually fits it pretty well. You can hit some pretty crazy and unique shots on this map. However, compared to these other maps, I don't think it deserves to be that high up on the tier list. I would say it's in C tier somewhere. Also, it's a very simple non-distracting map. I think for now I'm going to put it at the bottom of C tier. Next up is Tokyo Underpass. This is also playable in Rumble. It's basically Neo Tokyo, but the sides of the map are elevated. This is one of those maps I think has got to go in D tier. I think actually the top of D tier fits it. I would definitely rather play it over all of these other maps. I mean, yeah, it's just Neo Tokyo with elevated sides. There's not much to say about it. Next up is Underpass, which I actually don't even completely know what this map is. Okay, this map is literally the exact same layout as Tokyo Underpass. I'm gonna put it right above Tokyo Underpass just for the sole fact that it's less distracting. Oh man, next up is Urban Central. This is another very OG map. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I was never a big fan of this map. However, I do think it has grown on me a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at the bottom of B tier, just because I have mixed feelings for it really, but I honestly do like it more, I think, than these maps. Next up is yet another terrible reskin of a map. This is Utopia Coliseum Gilded. Honestly, when this map came out, I actually liked it. I thought it was really cool. And slowly as time went by, I realized, damn, this map blows. It's very distracting. It doesn't fit ranked at all. I would definitely rather play Aquarium. And yeah, this is easily D tier. This map, I think this would be a good spot for it. Right below Neo Tokyo Hacked. I would definitely rather play it than Starbase. However, does it really fit what it was meant for? Which, I mean, you can say it was for ranked. All the standard maps, I think, should at least be usable in ranked. And this is not. And that's why it's so low. I'll put it right in between Starbase Arc and Arctagon. Here is the original Utopia Coliseum, which I actually enjoy. Now, I actually don't enjoy this like daytime version of the map. I just don't really vibe on it. However, the nighttime version, W. I think for that reason alone, I gotta put it at least up here. I'm gonna put it right here for now. If I enjoyed the daytime version, I think I would actually put it in A, but I just don't vibe on this like daytime version of the map. The night version is really good though. Next up is our last snow day map. It is Utopia Coliseum Snowy. This is easily my favorite snow day map by far. The lights, the Christmas feeling, it makes you feel warm inside. Dude, I'm gonna say it, this has gotta be like at least middle of C. Playing on this map, especially during wintertime, it just gives me so much joy. I think I'm gonna put it right next to Drop Shots map. I think that's a good spot for it. Mid C tier. Damn, mid C tier and we have a snow day map. Okay, this is our last Rocket Lab map. This is called Utopia Retro. I think this is actually one of the coolest maps in the game because it's basically an inverted Rocket League map. You have one goal here and then you do a full circle to the other goal. But the cool thing is that you can literally go through both goals and make a full circle. I think it's easily the best and most interesting Rocket Lab map. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our last map on the Rocket League map tier list. We have Wasteland. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of this map. Now, this map does have two variations. It has kind of the evening time and then the nighttime version, which I actually somewhat enjoy the nighttime version. Also, I will point out that this map really isn't that distracting. It actually does kind of fit ranked, but overall, I just never get excited when I queue into this map. All right, I'm gonna take a minute to look over this list and see if I need to make any changes. All right, there is already a change that I do want to make, and it's actually to decide the worst map in Rocket League. I had put Neo Tokyo Comic at the bottom, mainly for the fact that it was just literally gray and there's no color. But you know what? I look at Forbidden Temple Fire and Ice, and it has so much color that it is just equally as annoying. But it's also very dark, and the contrast between the bright colors and the dark colors is just so extreme. And I think for that reason, I have to make Forbidden Temple Fire and Ice the worst map in Rocket League. However, with the rest of the tier list, I think I'm pretty satisfied with where everything is. So here's my official Rocket League map tier list. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys would like to do this tier list yourself, I will leave a link to it in the description of this video. Forbidden Temple Fire and Ice is the worst map in Rocket League, and Deadeye Canyon Oasis is the best map in Rocket League. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one.